Hello out there in video land. Hey out there in radio land. Guess what? I'm back. Yeah, somebody said to me it's a holiday today. I go, a holiday? How come I never got the message? But it's a holiday today. Easter Monday is a holiday, so I'm here. Gary Wilkins. I never took another day off. Gary was saying, hey, I saw other people. In the studio Friday, and I'm going, well, I mean, what are you going to do? Other people come in. I took Good Friday off, and that's the way it is. So at the end of the day, you know what? I'm here today. So, Gary, what can I say? I'm a slacker. That's all there is to it. Of course, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q Radio. Welcome to the show today, Your City, Your Voice. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, do the whole thing. We're at 125 now. We got to get up more. Got an election coming up in a week and a half, and we also have one coming up in October of 2026. Want to get as many people involved as we can. Come on, let's go. Get out there and vote. Number one, I don't care who you vote for. I have my favorite, and I'll tell you who it is. I'm not worried about telling you who I like, but I do want you to get out there and vote, and I don't care who you like. It doesn't matter. To me, you vote who you want to vote for, but at the end of the day, please get out and vote. We want a good turnout for this election. We don't want to be a bunch of stiffs that don't turn out and don't care, because you get the government you deserve when you don't turn out. You let other people pick the government you want, and there's not a lot of people who can vote common sense. So we got to make sure we get out and vote common sense. What a day today. It's beautiful. It was a nice weekend, too. I can't complain about the weekend. The weather was fantastic. Nice for Easter Sunday yesterday, a beautiful day for family and friends and whoever else you hang around with on Easter Sunday. It's beautiful out today, over 50. I don't have a hat on, and that's pretty darn good. Well, we're getting into May, though, so we're expecting some good weather. The lawns are even getting green. I may have to cut the lawn. You can believe that. I might have to get out and cut the lawn at the end of April. No, I'll wait till May because I don't want to say I cut the lawn in April, do I? No, maybe I'll have to. It's growing. It's growing. Yeah. Okay, let's get to my sponsors. Then we're going to get into the show. We got some good stuff that happened over the weekend. I can't get to it all, of course. There's just so much going on in this wacky world of ours. Every minute I look at the screen, there's something else that's happened. And you just can't do it all. That's all there is to it. You can't cover it all. But I'm going to give you my opinion on it because that's what this show is. It's not a news show. It's a commentary show. It's my opinion. So don't put my opinions on anybody else at 4680Q. They're not responsible for me or what I say. So don't think that they agree with me or anything. Probably a lot of them don't. They have their own opinions, and that's fine. I don't want my opinions on anybody else. This is for me. If you're going to get mad at me, not anybody else that has anything to do with 4680Q Radio. My sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. Of course, we see the nice weather coming. You got to get those winter tires off. You got to get your car checked out. You want to get your air conditioning system checked out. You want to get your heating and cooling system checked out, your brakes. You want to have everything safe for the summer. And the only way to do that is to take it to Wild Bill's, get it checked out, let him look at your systems. He's going to take care of it. He's going to make sure your car is running tip-top for the summer and you're all set to go. Once this weather starts turning nice, you don't want to be having to take your car in and get it looked at. you want to be proactive, not reactive. That's the secret of car maintenance. Be proactive. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Give Ken Hunter a call today and tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Support our sponsors. They support the city. They support the show. Come on, go see Ken. Okay. Sip of vodka, and then we get going here today. How you doing, Johnny? Look at everybody. I know so many guys that walk by here. Everybody walks by. They're hilarious. Okay, Catholics are mourning today. If you haven't heard, if you've been hiding under a rock, Pope Francis died today. He had an appearance on Easter Sunday, service in the Vatican yesterday. And even Liz said, "Look at him; he doesn't look very good. He might have been dead already. I don't know. They propped him up, but you're going to be seeing black smoke now until they elect a new pope. That's when they release the white smoke." And this is going to be the last pope before the end of the world. Anybody hear that? Well, yeah, he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the last pope before the end of the world, and we don't have long. I'll tell you why. Because all the popes that are elected to be pope, all the cardinals, are like 80 years old and more, so they're not going to live very long. And I'm a Catholic. I'm not a big fan of any pope. To be honest with you, so many atrocities by the Catholic Church over the centuries that were hidden by the elders of the church, including the Pope. Bishops, cardinals, Pope covered them all up. The church became a domicile for friggin' abusers and criminals. I'm not a big fan of the Catholic Church, even though I am a Christian. I'm just not a big fan of the Catholic Church itself, the organization, not the whole concept. And he wasn't a very, very popular pope in his church. Conservatives in the church were not fond of his liberal views regarding gays and gay marriage and divorcees being able to receive communion. Um, I think that that's gone by the wayside as far as the conservatives in the Catholic Church go. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think they got to get over it. It's the way it is, and that's one thing that Pope Francis said. He said, like, I have no concern with that. Like, what's the big deal? That was his attitude, and I think that's moving into the modern era, rather than holding on to the old tenets of the church. Um, yeah, they haven't been supportive of those views and divorcees being able to receive communion. Of course, come on, half the people in the world are divorced now. They get married, they get divorced, no matter where you're from. That's just the way it is. See, this is the problem with these churches. They hang on to some of these old things that are thing. I mean, if you're a conservative Catholic, conservative church, you may be aghast at gay marriage and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, who cares? What are you going to do? That's the way it goes. That's the way life is. Let them have a life of misery and marriage like everybody else. Why ban them? But that's the way it is. And the church, he kind of moved along with it, Pope Francis, whereas a lot of conservatives go by the Bible and all that, and they don't approve of that. So that was a big thing with him. And let's see. Last month, 62 disaffected Catholics, including one retired bishop and a former head of the Vatican Bank, published an open letter that accused Francis of 7 specific counts of heretical teaching. The nuclear option in Catholic theological arguments. So it's like, they take the nuclear option on a vote on something, and that was their thing to kind of impeach him in the religious way. The doctrine of the Catholic Church is the Pope cannot be wrong when he speaks on central questions of faith. So if he is wrong, he can't be Pope. That's their whole thing about these seven specific counts of heretical teaching. The heretic. Now, on the other hand, if he's right, the other popes must have been wrong. So, so it's that crazy question. If Pope Francis is right, then everybody else must be wrong. If everybody else is right, then he's got to be wrong. One or the other. It's a theoretical point. Politics plays as much a role in theology as it does anywhere else, and so this was the big thing they're having. Now he's dead. It doesn't matter. Next pope that comes in, we'll see what they have to say. But as the world's changed and views change, the long-held conservative views of the church are going to change, or else they're going to lose members. That's all there is to it. In Catholic Church or any church, it's about money, so they don't want to lose members. It's always about the money. Follow the money, even in the church. I remember the priest at our church, and this is a legendary story. Encourage congregants to put bills in the basket because coins make too much noise. Indeed. Well, he's dead. The guy's dead. That's all that matters now. He's dead. Now we have to wait for the white smoke to say there's another pope, the last pope before the end of the world. Read the prophecy of the popes attributed Saint Malachi. The last pope will be known as Peter the Roman. This prophecy foretells that Peter the Roman's reign will precede the destruction of the city of Rome and the end of the world. Nostradamus agrees with it. His prediction is about an old pontiff. Francis died at 88, so that's the old pontiff. And having a Roman successor, like the other guy said, Peter the Roman's reign will precede the destruction of the earth. So there you go. Get ready for it. If you believe any of that stuff, there you go. Get ready for it. It's bizarre that Pope had the one last service on Easter Sunday, the holiest of holy weekends and days of the Catholic religion, the resurrection, and then at that point he croaked it. I don't know. Some people say he died a month ago. Yeah, so I who knows, right? I don't know. I mean, I think Joe Biden should run. He's over 80 like the others in the running. It said his uncle was Pope. Not the one that got eaten by cannibals, Uncle Bozy, another uncle. Who knows? We'll see. Watch for the white smoke. They've elected a new pope, and we'll find out who it is. And I don't think he'll be under 80 because there's not many people under 80 that are in the line to be pope. I don't know why. They get these old guys and they don't get a 40-year-old pope, right? Maybe you'll hang around for 40 years. So on Sunday, I went and voted. No, Saturday I went and voted. Easter Sunday, I was home. I never went to vote. I went and saw my mother at the home. She was doing good. And then we had some people over. I had a nice Easter dinner. So I went on Saturday and voted around 6:15, and we had to go to the Legion 479 on Spring Street, and there was nobody there. It was dead. So I got in there, and there's a pen and a pencil. So I used the pen, so they can't change my vote or anything. But next to Tony Baldinelli, that's right. That's who I voted for. I told you. I'm telling you who I vote for. I'm right up front with it. I voted for Tony Baldinelli, conservative, common sense. And while I was waiting for Liz to vote, and don't ask me who she voted for. I don't ask her. She votes for who she wants. I also saw their. I asked them what the traffic was like for during the day. If there was a lot of people showing up, or exactly what was going on, and they said, "Yeah, it's been steady all day." That's great to hear because we want to get a good turnout. You get the government you deserve. The more people can get in there and throw their vote down, the better it is. We get a real representation. So that's really, really good to hear. And I also saw on the news for some polling stations there was an hour-long wait to advance poll. Wow, and they're asking people in the crowd, like, don't you really want to stand here for an hour? And they go, yeah, we got to get this vote in. We're not fooling around this election. We got to get this vote in. This is the most important vote of our lifetime. They never said who they were voting for. But the fact that they feel it's important really does me good because it is. It's probably one of the most important votes we're going to have in a long time. There's a definite difference between what's been happening over the last 10 years and the possibilities of the next 10 years with a good prime minister. Common sense prime minister. So I don't know if there was lineups at the polling stations in Niagara Falls or what the kind of turnout they're getting in advanced polls, but the guy said it was steady all day, so that's good. But the main thing is you can get out and vote today. The advanced polls are open today. Look on your voter card. It'll tell you where the advanced poll is for you. For my subdivision, Scott subdivision, my area, it was Legion 479. Get out and vote. That's all I can tell you. Get out. And then you have to wait till April 28th if you don't get in there in advance poll today. So if you don't make it today, you have to wait till the 28th and get out and vote. From everything I read, like I say, there's a heavy turnout, which is great to hear. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. I heard over 2 million turned out the first day. Like the biggest turnout in Canadian history, which is a record for Canada advanced polling. But by the interviews after people came out of the polls, that was interesting because you think that Trump was running in Canada. Most people that were interviewed who said that they mentioned Trump's 51st state and they don't want another Trump running Canada. And one saying the vulgarity of Trump's discourse bothered him deeply. Oh, poor triggered Karen. Oh, what Trump has to do with the Canadian election is beyond my grasp. It's about Trump. Is that what it's about? Or is it about the last 10 years of liberal incompetence that have screwed this country? Uh, you tell me. You tell me. You got to look around and say, do I want 4 more years of this? And one guy said that, what did he tell me online? Somebody said online about, was it something about Trump or we don't want uh, Trump or something. I'm just laughing. You'd rather have the more of the 10 years you just went through of higher prices, inflation, bad economy, over a bloated government, high taxes, carbon tax, all the other crap that they threw at us. You'd rather have that than somebody else who's promising common sense government with tax reductions and contraction of government and living on immigration and all the other good stuff that conservatives believe. You'd rather have that because of Trump, who has nothing to do with our election anyway. And really, if you think about it, who's Trump endorsing? Head blow up, head blow up. Yeah, the liberals, their heads got to be blowing up on this one. Regardless, it doesn't matter about Trump or anything else. Just look at the last 10 years ago. Do we want more of this? It's a pretty simple vote, really. Oh, I don't know. Whenever I talk about Canadians, they're usually voting against something rather than for something. We're voting against Trump. We're not voting for a candidate. I'm going to vote for this candidate because I want to vote against that candidate. Doesn't make sense. Vote for something you believe in. And now Chris Regas had it right. He's coming in on Friday. We're going to talk more about the election because it's next week. And he said, like no matter what candidate, you're not going to like everything they say. There's going to be some things you disagree with. But overall, the overall look at it, you might be able to live with a couple things you disagree with. And that's what I do with PP. I'm not 100% agree with everything he says or the way he's going to handle everything. But 99% of the stuff I do agree with, and I like where he's going and what he's doing. And I think he's the guy that can bring change. So that's what we need. And that's the way I went. But you may have a different angle. I don't know. Get out and vote. I don't care what your angle is. Get out and vote. Get involved. And let's see what happens after the election on, when is it? 28th? What's the date today? 21st? Oh, I'm all discombobulated. 21st, 28th. So a week from today, I guess the election is, right? Yeah, that's when it is. Viewer comments. Let's get to some viewer comments. Oh, try this for pronunciation from Penny Brookify. Polly Ev. Say it out loud. Polly Ev. Our soon to be PM. Polly Ev. Polly Ev. Got it. Got it, Penny Brookify. I got it. Polly Ev. And I agree. PP is going to be our next PM by a majority, I hope. Polly Ev. Yeah, I can never pronounce it, so I just say PP. People keep reminding me. At the Iceman 69. No one called in to suggest city staff had a list of items they wanted and gave the top one. So this is referring to that list I read out on Thursday when I promised I'd get the Doge report out and tell you exactly what they wasted money on, the $350,000. So the Iceman's commenting on that. No one called in to suggest city staff had a list of items they wanted and gave the top ones. I think they handed over 100 items for the survey, but staff cut it down. And don't worry, they will be building a shade shelter for the ping pong table next. And good point, John. They probably will. And that'll cost another 50 grand. Participatory budgeting was a slap in the face to taxpayers, and then strange hits on Lori saying that's what she asked for. And that's what happened. Lori had suggested it, but when she saw the list, she was very, very against it. And the reason is, even though it was her idea, is that that's not what participating budget was meant for. That was just a slap in the face to taxpayers. And with this 25,000 concrete ping pong table and all that money that I said they're blowing, they give me agita. See, you give me agita, City Council. But anyway, she said she put it off and don't do it because that's not what it's for. They did it anyway, and they threw it up in her face like, like for no bizarre reason, because it doesn't matter what somebody suggests, another city councilor suggests, or anything else. What matters is that your responsibility as a city councilor is to protect the taxpayers' dollars and do not let council spend money frivolously, right? Below our tax dollars. That's your job. So whether Lori suggested it or not, she understands that. And after the fact, when she found out what they wanted to spend on, she stood up and protected our tax dollars. And then everybody threw it up in her face, like, you suggested this, now you don't want to do it. You're telling the people that what they want, now you're not going to do it for them. And the bottom line is, no, we're not going to do it for you. We're not blowing taxpayers' money on a concrete ping pong table for $25,000. That's responsibility. That's fiscal responsibility. That's what you elected these aldermen to do, is to not waste your money. So Lori was right. Mike Strange taking her to task on that was wrong. With Victor Peter Angelo's another one, I think that was giving it to her. Maybe even Jim Diodati. I don't know. But Lori was trying to do that. And I mean, even Jason Burgess, the Penguin, stood up and he tried to get everybody off the hook for these stupid spending. He knew it was wrong. He knew it was wrong to spend the money on this. And he said, you don't have to spend all the money on it. You can allocate less to these things or say no to any one of them or only do one of them or two of them. He gave them an out and they weren't smart enough to take it. And that's what bothers me. Yay. Okay. And to me, that's just not caring or concerning about your hard-earned dollars, because they could have said no to everything and said, put the $350,000 back into the budget, give us a 0.5% discount on the taxes, because that's what it is, or keep it for more important projects like roads and infrastructure and things that people need, rather than $25,000 concrete ping pong tables and $40,000 pollinator meadows. Anyway, the Iceman 69, another one. Hamel Machine could have built the metal products for 1/4 of the price. Great point. Hamel Machine Company could have built the whatever benches and all the other crap that they had made. They could have built it for 1/4 of a price. And you're right, Iceman. You're right. Yes, indeed, they could have. But here's the thing: when you're spending other people's money, who cares, right? Who cares? Who cares? Is that the attitude? I guess it is. Doesn't seem to bother anybody. They're wasting this money except for Lori. And you're right, Iceman, on that one. And that the Iceman 69, my favorite commenter, but that's John. He knows the city. Why isn't the casino payout geared to inflation? And that's a very, very good question, Iceman. Jason Burgess made a deal for an 18% return, and for no unknown reason why he chose 18%, I have no idea. And it irks me to no end, because we got to cough up $3 million, 3.3 million to be exact, somewhere around there. 18% of what we take in from the casino to the Niagara Regional Police for the casino patrol, they call it. Now, listen, we already kick in the lion's share of $213 million for their budget. That's the police budget this year. And the bigger cities kick in a lot more. St. Catharines and Niagara Falls, we kick in the lion's share. We shouldn't have to give them another 3.3 million for patrolling the casino. That's extortion. They're like what? They're not going to patrol that area of the city. I mean, come on. It's a bunch of baloney. They don't need it. And my thing is if we got to pay it, then we should direct them where we want their services. And that's downtown and downtown core of Victoria Avenue, where people are getting stabbed and shot and crack houses and everything else. So at the minimum, if you're going to give them money, tell them where you want them to spend it. At minimum. But if it was me, I'd vote to say, no, you're not getting it. That's it. You're not getting it anymore. Contract's void. We're done. We're ending it. And then they say, we're not going to patrol that. It's your duty to patrol it. We pay part of 213 million for you to patrol the whole city. That includes the casino area. Gabish, you're giving me ajada. Okay, that's it for viewer comments. Thank you to everybody who gave comments, and I appreciate it. And we're going to move on here to Eric Idle, the general manager of municipal works in Niagara Falls. Right after I talk about my favorite pizza place in Niagara Falls, Pete's Pizza. And I got some wings there last week. Yeah, Thursday, $9.69 for a pound of wings. They were tremendous. Fantastico. They make good wings there. They make great pizza there. They use the Mancini family recipe for the sauce and cheese. They know how to put it on the pizza in the right ratio with the cheese and the crust, the Mancini recipe. Unbelievable. They know how to make a pizza, and it comes out hot and fresh with fresh toppings. Fantastico. I love it. And they have all kinds of specials, combos. They have wing and pizza combos. They have steak and cheese poutine, panzerotti, regular poutine. You name it, they've got it there. They do such a great job down there. You're going to be happy. They got a menu this big, open till midnight on the weekdays until 2 in the morning for your convenience on Friday and Saturday. How can you beat it? How do you get one of these tremendous pizzas or whatever else you want there? They got a menu that covers everything. You dial 905-374-2222 or go to their website, petespizzavictoria.ca. You can order right off the website. They have Skip, they have Dash, everything. Support our sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. You want great pizza because they support the city, they support the show. Thank you very much to Pete's Pizza. So Eric Idle, a.k.a. Eric Nickel, I don't know. Wish I had a nickel for every time someone he got up to talk. He says help is on the way. The Jawbreaker, that section of Portage Road between the train tracks and Five Corners, is getting a remake this year in a $13 million reconstruction as part of the city's 23 kilometers of roads that are going to get a facelift. And I have to say, it's about time. That is a nightmare. As a matter of fact, I don't even go down there anymore. I go down Drummond Road and go around it. I just don't want to take my car through there anymore. Forget about it. My teeth hurt. My kidneys hurt. The car's suspension gets screwed up. The alignment, you got to spend money in your car. You go through there. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. But they're going to do it. Yep. And he says that Niagara Falls has 1,230 kilometers of paved surfaces, one of the largest road networks in the region. So this year, phase 2 and phase 3 for Drummond Road and Portage disaster will be completed. Willoughby Road in beautiful Chippewa will be done. 3.5 kilometers of Delta Drive, Charnwood, and Preakness will be done. 6.4 kilometers in the neighborhood west of Stanford Collegiate. Bing, Leonard, Woodland, Depew, Maitland, Division, High, Leeming, Cook. We're all going to get done. Okay. That's great. Can't wait. Especially that Jawbreaker. When they put the shovels in the ground there, I'm going to be the happiest guy in the world. When I go to Stanford Center, that's the way I usually go. And now I've got to dodge it. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. And it's pretty bad between Morrison and the train tracks on Drummond as well. You could be in trouble if you go down that way too. So don't think you're out of the woods if you use that way. It's still bad. We'll see. We'll see if they get done. They're said to be done this year, but I don't know. We've been hearing that for 5 years now? 5 years of Portage Road fixed. So there's that. There'll definitely be a day-to-day celebration when the jawbreaker is no more. I'm going to be celebrating when the jawbreaker is no more. And we're Star Roads in Canada, and they're going to be no more. Thanks to Ray Spateria, the great review for the perfect article. Thank you very much. So the headline screams road trips from Canada down to the U.S. by 500,000 last month in Trump's trade war. Now, of course, the insinuation in this sensationalized headline is that the Trump tariffs are the cause. And the elbows up attitude by Canadians, they're the root cause. We're not going to the States. We're not spending our money in the States. That's not going to happen. But the reality is much different. The truth is, most people speak with their wallets, not their hearts. And their wallet says a 50% exchange rate is just too much. They don't want to go over there and spend that money, so they travel elsewhere. That's probably the determining factor in most travel. Why pay 50 cents on the dollar when you can pay zero staying in Canada? Now, the funny part of that is, is we're talking about road traffic over the bridges. But at the end of the day, air travel is not down at all, which tells me that most people don't drive to sunny places, they fly. And they're not giving up their sunny places. So the drivers faced a pretty bad month of February weather-wise as well. So they weren't moving around too much in February. I mean, come on, it was crappy weather most of the time. Now, also the fee to get over the bridges has increased by a whopping $2 a trip. Tack that onto a 50-cent dollar, and really, we used to go over and get a pizza for $15. Now 30% more. The pizza's 30% more. Another $5 is $20 US. Now throw on 50% rate. That's $30. $8.50 for the bridge. For a large pizza, you're paying $40, $50. Who the hell's going to pay that? That's why road trips are down. Nobody's going over there right now. But when you see the flights travel by air staying the same, that means, oh yeah, people are still flying to Florida and they're enjoying the nice weather down there, where we hang around here in this cold weather and the snow. So that hasn't decreased, which tells you exactly where people are going and what they're doing. But the snowbirds that cry the loudest about the dollar and about Trump's tariffs and everything else are the ones who are taking advantage of going to the States for the nice weather, but by plane, they're not driving. So they go to Florida with their elbows down. That's what they do. And the other one that has people staying home is the media, saying that they should be afraid as Americans are going to treat you badly because of the tariffs and all the hate America rhetoric and elbows up. And I mean, it's not true. Canadians love Americans and Americans love Canadians. They always have. And you know what? That's just the way it is. No matter what they tell you, forget about it. Yeah, there's a lot of big mouth Canadians who are elbows up, and I'm not going to the States, and I hate it, and Trump and Orange Man bad, all that TDS stuff. But at the end of the day, they don't really dislike Americans. We've spent most of our lives with Americans. I have. A lot of people who are from here have married Americans and have relatives in Canada. That bridge was wide open back in the day, and everybody used to go back and forth. I have a lot of friends over there, so I can understand it. Now, I'm not a big going over there for spending money, only because it's so uneven right now. There's way more value in Canada. I can't even believe that people are coming over here rather than there with their dollar. And that's probably going to be the case this summer. We'll see a lot of Americans over here. But at the end of the day, Canada being their poor cousins with an inferiority complex, that's what's hitting the media. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. Just rubber tire traffic that is down a bit, but people visiting the United States is still there. Now, did you see that debate? Did you see that debate? It was pretty well a nothing burger, to be honest with you. I think I like Blanchette. Blanchette's the best. The guy from Quebec. He's got nothing to lose. He don't give a rat's you know what about anything. He said, I don't want to be prime minister. I'm already prime minister of Quebec. That's all he cares about. And he was giving it to Carney big time, man. He was really hammering him. They all were, and you saw PP, and basically he wants Canada first. Carney wants China and immigration and everything first. And what Jagmeet Singh wants, Jagmeet Singh first, right? The Marxist Maserati uh, person. He what do they call him? The Maserati Marxist, the Raja of Rolex. All he cares about is his party getting seats, and they don't lose their party status because they're gonna get wiped out this election. He's got nothing. He backed up the liberals every time, so that's all he is, an orange liberal. So he's got nothing, and he's on there like he looked like a scared rabbit on stage talking. We have to be there. You have to elect us because you need somebody to watch these guys. I mean, he didn't watch nothing. He voted with the liberals every time. He could have brought them down a long time ago. So it was an interesting debate. I thought Pierre Poilievre scored some good points, and especially when they talked about when he asked him point blank about his security clearance. I thought PP answered that really well. He gave him the lowdown exactly why he didn't care about the security clearance right now. And it was true. Everything he said was true, and it made sense to everybody. So Carney got kind of taken to the woodshed on that one. Pierre was ready for it. He knew what he was going to say, and he said it perfect. And all he had to do is just keep hammering home the fact that for 10 years, the liberals have ruined this country. You want four more of the same? Because that's the bottom line. But his common sense politics and axe the tax and everything that was plagiarized by Carney is now coming back to bite Carney too. So I thought it was a really good debate for PP. Carney, not so much. He plagiarized everything. He hasn't done anything. They're not getting rid of the carbon tax, no matter what you think. I mean, they've admitted, well, yeah, we'll take the carbon tax off. We're going to replace it with something else because, number one, they believe in the carbon tax. They would make it even double it right now if they could. If the people could swallow that, I mean, they'd be up in arms worse than they are now. They double it, and they said they're just going to replace it with another tax. They will find a way to get that money back. They said so. Don't believe a word they say. But yeah, Carney took a couple of heavy hits, and he's so corrupt. I mean, he's so in bed with China and everything, and dodging 5.1 billion of Canadian taxes by offshoring his companies. And he says he wants to build modular homes, and his company builds modular homes. It's just a big, like this guy, But PP did score several points. None of them big knockout punches. Nobody scored a knockout punch, I don't think. He got his platform across, and I guess if you want to consider that a win, that was a win. But otherwise, I don't know if the debate took anybody that was on the fence, tipping them one way or the other. And I don't know if it took anybody who was on the left side, liberals, that they converted over to conservatives. I don't think that would happen. I didn't find it that much of a knockout. Didn't find that knockout. But Carney did have to remind everybody he's not Trudeau. I'm not Trudeau. But he kept asking me, he said, you were the guy who managed the money for the government, right? And you set Trudeau's financial agenda, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, he wouldn't admit it, but yeah, that's the way it was. So anyway, that's about it. Jimmy Dollywall treading water. Um, I think PP got his points across. Carney was on the on the I'm the only one that could beat Trump, and kept on that Trump trail, and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, we know what he is. He didn't really change anybody's mind. And speaking of Art Carney, Naughton, he was in the Falls on Friday saying that the current situation between Canada and the U.S. created by Trump. Of course, everything is blamed on Trump, and now the Canadian reaction to Trump. It's the biggest crisis of our lifetime. Canada and America have been friends for a long time, and like any set of friends, we don't always see eye to eye. But when push comes to shove in the past, we've always been there for each other, Carney said. Man, I'm choked up here. Well, he's got that correct. And with the U.S. facing a $36 trillion debt, the president wanting to fix the country before it sinks like the Titanic on steroids, where's their best friend and trading partner to help them? Because we've always been there for each other. So what Canada does to help them is boycott them, double up the tariffs, and give the U.S. the elbows up treatment. Carney gave all the nice Canadian sound bites while telling the Yanks to go to hell. Nobody was putting anything in jeopardy. If Carney knew Trump, if Carney read his book, The Art of the Deal, he'd know Trump wants to work together to make things better for both countries. Trump's a businessman. He likes to make money, to have everybody prosper, including Canada. Canada that's broke isn't good for the U.S. He wants to pull us along with him. Canada's got a chip on its shoulder and won't cooperate. But if they did, that'd be great. But no, they get 2 minutes for elbowing, 5 minutes for fighting, and a 25% tariff. That's how Canada's game works. And that's what Trump's doing to them. But I mean, they should cooperate, right? Then Carney insists the friendship is over. It's over. It'll never be the same. It's over. It's far from over, ladies and gentlemen. If we get somebody who can work with Trump, then it's not over. You don't insult the guy, threaten him, and abuse him in the media. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Trump don't care. Canada's a non-entity to him. He says, come on along for the ride. Be friends with us. Be our partner. Right? And and Canadians get all upset. He wants to make Canada great again. He wants them along for the ride. Our leaders are they just don't see it. They whip the Canadians, the media, into a frenzy with the 51st state. We don't need a Doug Ford wannabe trying to deal with Trump. We want a businessman who knows the ropes. Now, Carney being a businessman sounds like he can handle it, but he's so far off base, it'd be scary sending him down there to deal with the likes of Trump. Kidding me? He's going to go down there and threaten him? That's because he's a puppet. He's not a businessman. He proves that every day. He's a puppet for somebody else. That's all he is. You know, he's got to go back to his Manhattan penthouse and don't let him do anything important as prime minister. I mean, he hasn't yet. He's been prime minister, and don't let him do anything. Keep him away. He's just trouble for everything. He's gonna really screw us if we let him in there. We need somebody with common sense to go down and sit down with Trump and say, let's both make money. The object is for both of us to make money. How do we do it, Mr. Trump? How do we do it, President Trump? And Trump will say, well, and that's it. We're not going to be the 51st state, but we can really, really benefit from being in cahoots with the United States as the biggest economy in the world. That's for sure. Thanks to Ray Spiteri again of the Review for a great article on Carney's visit. Check it out at the Review website. So I'm going to get into this other comment by a guy named Joe DiBiase. He keeps commenting on posts and that. And the one good thing about Joe DiBiase, I'll tell you, he's a left winger. He's a left winger. He's way out there. But the one thing is the guy can have a discussion without getting mad, without having TDS or being triggered. Like, he's not a Karen. Let me put it that way. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, my third sponsor, Hamilton Machine Company. And, you know, they've been around since 1948 serving industry in Niagara Falls. Small and big industry. And machine shops like Hamel are very, very important industry because when they break something, when something breaks down, they need it fixed immediately. And they got to go to somebody who knows what they're doing and can fix it. They can't wait around for 6 weeks from parts from Germany or China or Japan or wherever the heck the machine was made. They can't wait. They got to get those parts right away. So what do? They take the broken part down to Hamel. Hamel looks at it, fixes it. If they can't fix it, they will reverse engineer it. They can do that. They can make a new part, whether it's on a lathe, turning on a lathe, or whether it's a 3D printer that's doing it. It's amazing what they can do. And they're not only that, they're innovators and inventors. If industry is having a problem with something, they can come up with a solution for it. They can invent the solution. And not only have they done that many times, they've also sold, but they've invented to other industries of the same to help them with their problems. Time is money. So it's very important. But Hamel isn't just about that. You need a new gate for your backyard and you need it fabricated. Guess who you can go see? They'll come down, take a look at it, design one for you. They have designer, computer graphic people, IT people, electrical engineers. They have whatever you need to make it work. And they'll fabricate it, weld it, powder coat it for you. They'll do the whole shebang for you. You don't have to worry about it. That's what they do over there. Big industry, small industry, or just guys like me and you. They can help you out if you have a problem with anything mechanical. Hamel Machine Company, you see them on Kent Street is their big office. They have one on Bridge Street over here. Go to hamelmachine.ca. Check out the beautiful work they do for the industry around here, wine industry and everybody else. And support our sponsors. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Support our sponsors because they support the city and they also support the show. Thank you very much. So, do you want a small barometer of what's happening in this election? Well, on Thursday, I mentioned this guy named Joe DiBiase, a big Carney and liberal supporter. He posted this on Facebook. We can't allow the U.S. stooge and traitor PP sellout. Oh, sorry. Let me do that. We can't allow the U.S. stooge and traitor PP to sell out Canada. Vote this weekend so that we see the last of this menacing cretin on April 28th. We have tolerated this worm since 2004. Time to send him on his miserable way. That was what he wrote, right? So you think the guy would be a little TDS. He has TDS. And he definitely has TDS. But the good thing is that there's a lot more people with common sense. And out of 10 comments on this post, not a single one agreed with him. Every single comment took him to task for the comment. 100% approval rating for PP. Now, I'm not saying this is a scientific poll. I'm not saying that this is the way the election's going to turn out. But usually when I see a liberal post like this, I see tons of liberals on there backing him up. That's right. He's PP is Trump, and we don't want Trump, and 51st, all that stuff again. But there's nothing, not a single one, last time I looked at it. So that tells me something right there. It tells you that the people who are with PP, the conservatives, the common sense people, are very, very passionate about their opinion, to comment on that, which means that they're going to be as passionate getting out to vote. And the liberals who should be supporting this guy appear to be few and far between. And if they're with him, they're not vocal about it. Now, it may be there's a bunch of liberals that see them yelling and screaming, like these students and stuff like that are usually coming out of liberal art universities. They usually are the ones who are yelling and screaming and doing crazy things like burning down Tesla plants and stuff. But at the end of the day, these people don't go out and vote. They don't vote. And they're not on here supporting that statement about PP, calling them all kinds of names of that. So I have to say, if that's any kind of an indicator, this could be a majority government, which I think it's going to be. I think people have had enough, and the people who are very, very vocal about it, about PP and all that, around their friends that are liberal, are probably going to go to the voting booth and put an X beside the conservative's name. I really believe that some of them are gonna, because they've had enough of the last 10 years too. They've had enough of inflation, higher prices, not being able to afford a home. their kids not being able to afford a home, looking down the road and saying, what's left for my kids and grandkids? Look what they've done to this country. They've screwed small business. They've trampled people with horses. They've arrested people. They've frozen their bank accounts. That was Al Carney. They've frozen their bank accounts. These are the people I don't want running the country. They've done everything they can against the Charter of Rights, and they're not taking the task for it because they were in power. But at the end of the day, people start seeing that, and I believe they've had enough. So interesting little thing on that comment. I thought I'd see a lot more people calling me a jerk, a moron, a goof, a misogynist, a racist, a white supremacist, an Islamophobe, a homophobe, a what other phobe, any kind of other phobe you want. Because I usually get called all those names all the time. It's the nature of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And I wasn't called anything. Most people were agreeing with what I was saying on there anyway. They weren't agreeing with Joe DiBiase. Like I say, Joe at least isn't a guy that's gonna, give it to you. Like he's, he'll discuss it with you, but he won't call you a jerk, moron, goof, idiot. He won't call you any of that stuff. Oh, now this was a good one, and I call this guerrilla marketing. And I was thinking of actually doing this before when I had my video sign business, right? And what happened is that the Greenpeace people projected a political message right on the face of the American Falls. You know where the lights usually hit? Well, they had a high intensity projector and they had it set up down the park and blasted right across the gorge and had a message on the American Falls, right? And I'm going, wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And what I was going to do with it is go to Leon's store in St. Catharines and project a brick commercial on the side of the Leon building. That's what I wanted to do with it. I thought it would be hilarious. Never did it, but that's what I was planning. And there's a lot of this going on. It's called guerrilla marketing, where you go and you take a place and put up their competition right on their wall so people see it. Now, it's not illegal as long as you stay on public property. It's not illegal. You can do it. And if you get on their property, they can trespass you. But if you're on public property, hey, you can do it. Everybody's allowed to be on public property. It's owned by the taxpayers. No matter where you are, you can take pictures, you can take video on any public property. Do what you want. You see it all the time on TikTok and that. There's nothing anybody can do about it. They can't trespass you on public property. But that was a phenomenal job, and it was clear as a bell. What the hell did they have on there? I can't remember what it was. It was something political anyway. What's political? Was it for Carney or against PP? Something like that. Because they're pretty liberal, right? But outfits like Greenpeace, they really make me laugh because they're supported by Big Oil. They're supposed to be the watchdogs of the environment, and Big Oil supports them, And this is the oldest tactic in the book. You get a group of people who are against anything. Mothers against drunk driving. They're supported by the liquor store. Like this is what happens, and it's because these entities like Big Oil, Standard Oil, or Exxon or whatever, they need a watchdog. They need somebody that people think is watching out for them. Because if they don't, the people are going to start revolting. But they say, oh, I don't have to go out there and save the whales. Greenpeace is out there with their boats, and they show the boats going up and down and saving whales. Or I don't have to worry about the Exxon Valdez and the big spill there. Greenpeace is on it. As soon as you don't have a group like that, then everybody gets upset and you get the population against you. So they support these kind of groups. So it's funny, the biggest polluters are the ones who support Greenpeace. Now, the problem here is it may be against Parks policy, but is it illegal? And it's probably not illegal. I don't think the parks can stop them from doing that. They can't trespass them on public property down the park. It's public property. It's owned by taxpayers. And once this happens, are other groups going to follow suit? Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you see more of this. It wouldn't surprise me at all. The attitude from Greenpeace mouthpiece Keith Stewart was that they would have never got permission, so they just pulled up and did it. And they're going to face whatever consequences come from their actions, but they probably won't see any. I don't see what they can do. There's nothing against the law about projecting something on the face of the falls. I don't see there's any law against it. Stewart said people thought it was great and were taking pictures of it. He said park staffer came up and told them they weren't allowed to do that. And he said, "Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll be packing up soon," but they've already had the message up there for a while. He also thought that the projection was not even in Canada; it was on the USA side of the border, so it might not even be in Canada's jurisdiction to tell them to stop it. They thought it was this, and they didn't believe that it was. They were doing this live because they had a video of them doing it. They thought it was just like a digitally produced electronic effect on the face of the falls, like when they saw it. Like when you're watching a hockey game and they put those advertisements on the boards that aren't really there. They're not really there. They're projected in the program. They're not really there. The players don't see that stuff moving along the boards and those big things. They have big things on the backboard, a Canadian Tire symbol. Well, people sitting behind them will be blocked out. They're not real. They're added during the broadcast. So when it comes down to it, I don't think that the parks can do anything about it. Now, if you do stunting, there's a law about stunting. You can't, jump in a barrel and go over the falls. That's stunting. They'll pick you up and give you $10,000 fine. But there's nothing against projecting anything on the face of the falls. I mean, they said they're going to be charged with mischief or something, but really nothing was damaged, and they just broke parks policy, which isn't law. And I think even something as simple as mischief wouldn't hold up in court because, I mean, mischief, you got to have somebody injured or somebody injured, but in some way. But who was injured with that? Nobody. So how is it mischief? They didn't break anything. They didn't ruin anything. They're just projecting a picture on the falls. But I can see a free for all now. I can see a lot of people going down there and projecting an advertisement or their name in that. And I don't know what the park's going to do about it. I don't even know if they can do anything about it. We'll see what the parks comes up with going forward. But as of now, you want to advertise your business on the edge of the falls. I mean, any one of these hotels could shoot it on the face of the falls from the top of their hotels, right? Get an intense beam right on there. They could probably do it with the technology we have today, and it would work. So, yeah, there you go. We'll see what happens. Thanks for the article by Ray Spiteri in the review. A very cool development is finally getting off the ground at the corner of Mewburn and Mountain Roads. It's being called an adult active lifestyle community called Stone Ridge Estates. The development is finally getting underway, and we'll have amenity spaces including a rooftop patio, an outdoor grilling kitchen, and multi-purpose party rooms. In addition to housekeeping services so that seniors who are independent but need some help can live there and get the service they need in-house. Pretty cool idea. It reminds me of the one on Main Street there where the crack house is there. The community house there is across the street. That was what that was supposed to be as well. And now they got students living in there, I think. They said there's going to be a total of 60 units with 6 of them based on average income for affordability, which can be life leased or standard leased with internal financing available. And when you get a place in there, on a life lease, the residents end up with 25 corporate shares in the building and share in the corporate revenues. That's pretty cool. Once stabilization is reached, which means there's enough of them leased out to pay for the upkeep of it, they would be corporate owned units and then life leased or regular leased for them. The units plan to be 630 to 961 square feet, including balconies. The bottom units have walkouts Anticipated completion is June 2026 with occupancy by August 2026. So you're looking for a place, this might be the place for you. I love it. And with an aging population in Niagara and more retired people coming to live in Niagara, developments like this are needed probably where I'm going to end up one day, as long as I can. I think they should build more of these. And once again, an article by Ray Spiteri. Thank you very much, Ray. You write some tremendous stuff. So, interesting development. Watch for that going up on Mewburn and Mountain Road. Um, awesome. Awesome. Okay, and before I get the heck out of here today, I got to mention this other thing, man, that I was laughing all weekend as, and that is this girls' night out in space. Did you see this fake, fake thing? It has to be the phoniest thing I ever saw. I mean, there's no way these women, Gail King and Katy Perry, went for a ride on that rock. Come on. It had to be done on a soundstage. Did you see these guys? Nothing is correct. And imagine going into space and having 2 minutes to look around, and these chicks, these chicas, are partying and whooping it up like they're spending a night at the Viper Club in LA, screaming, taking selfies. I mean, you're in space. Out the window, you look. You're space. You see the Earth. You see the moon. You see stars. Now, these guys are taking selfies and screaming and like a night at the Viper Club. They even had custom designed fashionista jumpsuits. Now, the wind's blowing in their hair in zero gravity. And then when they landed so hard. I mean, I'm telling you, that was a tough landing. That came down with a bang, number one. And number two, like the door, it's a pressurized cabin because they're going to space. And that door you can't open, like you can't open it from the inside. It's got to be open from the outside. So what's the door do? It opens. Then somebody says, hey, you shouldn't be opening that door. And they go, okay. And they closed it. And then Jeff Bezos comes with this big wrench like this. And he starts turning it to open it, right? They screwed that up. And then you can see through one window a mannequin. You can see the hand of a mannequin wearing a jumpsuit with a white stripe down the side of the suit. And meanwhile, none of them had that. None of them had that. Their suits didn't have anything white on them, that white stripe. So it's a big phony in the window there. And the windows in space were like this window behind me. They're small oval windows. You look out. The ones on the ground were like picture windows, like the one I'm looking at right now in front of me. Big picture windows. You can see in there. It was it's so ridiculous. I've never seen anything. And then that Gail King was telling everybody she did a scientific experiment. We're astronauts. We did a scientific experiment. Now, astronauts have to train for like 2 years and got to be in tip-top shape, and they got to know what they're doing. I mean, they're going to space. They're going to be there for a while, not just like 2 minutes. These guys are no more astronauts than I am. I'm an astronaut, too. I've been spaced out a few times. And then she compared herself to Alan Shepard. And she's telling people, don't call it a ride. They don't call that a ride when a man goes up insisting that there's if men were going up in it, they're astronauts in space. When women go up, it's a ride. Insisting there was nothing frivolous about it. Yeah, they paid $1.5 million to go up. Nothing frivolous. They were hooked and wallered and hollered and everything like a bunch of schoolgirls at a football rally. And a ride is exactly what people are calling it, much like Magic Mountain, a ride at Magic Mountain. And she said she did experiments. What kind of experiments are you going to do when you're in space for 2 minutes? The whole trip was like 8 minutes or 11 minutes or something. What kind of experiment are you going to do? You have 2 minutes in space. Hey, there's such a bunch of baloney. It's like an 8-minute space oddity. Nobody's buying it. Not even the Hollywood leftist elite are buying into it, challenging them on the flight, saying it was a waste of money, like $1 million or more, leaving a carbon footprint that Greta Thunberg would be very embarrassed even to talk about. How dare they? But yeah, that was it. I was laughing. It was so ridiculous. It was so dumb. I've never seen anything so stupid in my life. And what a crazy thing. If anybody who believes that, I mean, I got some I got a bridge in New York City that I can sell you. You believe that? Seriously. What a joke. What a joke. Just Katy Perry kisses the ground like she just came back from a Mars expedition. She's gone like 2 minutes. It's like going up in an airplane really high and coming back down. That's it. Anyway, enough of this nonsense. I'm out of here. Unbelievable. Don't believe anything you see with these people. It's so fake. It's not even funny. Look for the fake stuff because there's lots of it that you can find. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is your city, your voice. Get out and vote. That's my advice for everybody. Get out and vote. I'm broadcasting live from 4680Q in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, Chrysler Avenue. This is your city, your voice, like it says back here. I'll see you tomorrow with Trash Talking Tuesday. And I got stuff I never got to today. We'll talk about that tomorrow and more stuff as it comes in. You can't stop the news. It's coming in fast and furious these days. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you all. And don't forget, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamo Machine Company, supporters, sponsors, they support the show. See you tomorrow, Tuesday, Trash Talking Tuesday. Ciao, ciao. For now, enjoy your day.